Shake the dust off, tell me what love's made of. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Breath in our lungs, beat in our hearts. Lift up your voice, you got something to say. It's a brand new day. 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 When the rain falls, when the ground shakes, when the wind blows, when your heart breaks, and the sorrow, and the laughter, and the starlight, love is ever after. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Breath in our lungs, beat in our hearts. Lift up your voice, you got something to say. It's a brand new day. 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 See the sunrise, oh, oh. Fire in your eyes, oh, oh. Mercy new, don't miss the way it shines. It's a brand new day. Is a secret through the thunder. There's a storm, but you're not going under. It's a brand new day. 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 It's a brand new
You could bury me underground, I would dig my own way out. You could give me ash and dust and let me march right through the mud. Cause I'ma settle all my scores and hear me bang on the drums of war. If you could see my skeleton, then you would know what I'm made of. Feel the fire and see the smoke like a hurricane or when the thunder rolls. I thought by now that you ought to know. Oh, oh, I got a renegade soul that you can't control. And I'm on a roll, so don't try to hold me, no. But don't you know there's a lot of fight in my bones. You could bury me out to sea, but I'll rise up from the deep. I'm never gonna lose my grip. You can't sink my battleship. I'm gonna spark my energy like fire and gasoline. If you could see my skeleton, then you would know what's in me. Feel the fire and you see the smoke like a hurricane. And when the thunder rolls, I thought by now that you ought to know that, yeah. I got a renegade soul that you can't control. And I'm on a roll, so don't try to hold me, no. But don't you know there's a lot of fight in my bones. There's a lot of fight, there's a lot of fight. There's a lot of fight, yeah. Hurricane, when the thunder rolls, sit a thought by now that you already know. I got a renegade soul that you can't control. No, and I'm on a roll, so don't try to hold me, no. Don't you know I got a renegade soul that you can't control, no. And I'm on a roll, so don't try to hold me, no. But don't you know there's a lot of fight in my bones.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be
Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring. I got a parking spot right outside. Step into my brand new ride. All we ever get is green lights and blue skies. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best. Shake up. I got a red fruit smoothie. James Brown bumping like I'm living in a movie. Look at me. I do the cha-cha-cha. Look at me. I sing a na-na-na. Tippy-tap-tap like I'm Dick Van Dyke. Chim-chim, I need you to be by my side. Spoonful of sugar, gonna go with it. Oh, baby, pass me the butter, gonna roll with it. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best. I'm flying 10 feet off the ground. You got me dancing in the clouds. It's like I'm never coming down. No. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
What's up, everyone?
What are you doing? You're pointing at something.
I don't know if my hat's gonna muffle my voice, but I'm not taking it off now.
Sounds
so.
okay to me. Sounds okay to me. Shoot. Why is this not working? I don't know why that's not working. Okay, 1 second here. Oh, what is going on? Sorry, I'm like stuff wigged out for some reason. Here we go. All right. We're back. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on another Saturday. We are back in the cube, ready to disperse knowledge and answer your questions. Patrick, how you doing?
Wait, I'm not in the cube. I'm not in the cube.
Your office is cube-like. It has 4 walls and corners.
So, I sent out invites this morning. There's some people coming to SQL Saturday Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I think I sent Alex Powers one. He's yet to respond to my text message. But I sent like 3 or 4 text messages asking them if they wanted to come and record in the cube while they're here in Atlanta. So we'll see.
Wait,
we'll see.
If they do that, are you going to grill them some nice burgers?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Nice. All right. Welcome, everyone. Fernando, thank you. Yo to you as well. Member for 23 months. Love it. Yeah, I know. That's amazing. Welcome, Matthew. Thank you for waking up. You definitely slept in. It's late for you. That's bananas. Good to see Alex and folks in the chat. If you are new to GuineCube or just the live stream for the first time, put hashtag new in the chat. We love seeing all the new faces and just love seeing everyone joining us. It's always amazing. Also, shout out to all of our members of GuineCube. We love the support that you give us. It helps us do what we do here on GuineCube. Very much appreciated. If you want to learn more about what a member is, check out the link on the screen or hit the join button down below. No commitment required. Just thank you for checking it out and learning more. If you see folks with a green name or a GuineCube logo next to their name, those are members of GuineCube. And so just thank you, all of y'all, for supporting us. We love it. Members, hold your questions until the second half. Chatmaster C will let you know when we go into members only jacket. Is that like the member only jacket that like was in the 80s? I remember having one of those where it said like members only. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
So Chatmaster C will let you know when we go into member only chat on the second half. So hold your questions. Oh, I love it. Paul always bringing a good chuckle to the stream. So let's see here. Let's see if how many new folks we have here. Thomas is cumbersome. Appreciate that. Sushil is new. Agasimo is new. Let's see here. Mina is new. Mithma following since 2019. Thank you for that. Umesh is new. Victor's new. So first live stream, definitely not first GuineCube content. So appreciate that. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. Anthony is new. First live streamer. Thank you. Welcome. And then Beef. What?
Wait, Adam. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks for interrupting.
Yeah.
Be Free Happy Spirit is new. I love that. Matthias wants a badge. Well, Matthias, become a member, you'll get a badge. That's how it works. Let's see here. And Victor said he's following from the Netherlands. I love the Netherlands. Let's see here. Let's see. I think there's an Rakesh is new. Paul Turley just said Adam in the chat. Hey, Paul. Let's see if there's any others here. What is going on with my internet? I don't know. Let's see here.
I think I just saw.
I think I got all of
Kevin
them.
Arnold said he's going to be. Kevin Arnold said he's going to be in Atlanta. Really, Kevin?
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah,
that's going to be awesome. That's awesome. Get something together, and maybe you can come over and record a video in the cube.
Yeah. And then where'd it go from Matthew? Hang on. There it is. So Matthew just mentioned for folks in the NYC area that just be aware there's a SQL Saturday, New York on May 6th, if Atlanta's too far away. So thanks for calling that out, Matthew. So I'm assuming that's in New York City. So that's typically where, yeah, well, he said New York City area. So yeah, obviously. I'm on it today, Patrick. Just so you know.
I see. I see.
All right, rules. We've got questions, and oh man, my network is being weird today, so apologies if something happens. So rules for the stream: please put Q colon in front of your question. We do have some questions queued up. So one time is all you need. That's it. So put it in the chat one time. Chatmaster C standing by to get them queued up. And then if you do post it more than once, we have a 3 strikes rule here on Guy in a Cube, so you will be put into a timeout by either Chatmaster C or one of our lovely moderators, except for Patrick. And it's not because Patrick's not lovely, it's just because Patrick won't do it. So, yes, you're very lovely, Patrick.
I am lovely. I am lovely.
And then members, hold your questions. We'll get to the member questions when we get to the member only chat on the second half. Also, apologies if we don't make it to your question. We never get through all of them, so come back next time. The key is to get in early and get those in the chat. So, all right, are you ready for the questions, Patrick?
Yeah, as long as it's not about Chat GTP.
GPT. Or
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it is, yeah. I blew Patrick's mind this morning. Blew his mind. All right, first question. Let's go. What is going on?
Mansplaining.
My thing...
Mansplaining as a service. That's good, Matthew.
Let's
That's
do...
good. I like it.
Hang on a second. My thing is like half working but not working. Let's go. Send. There we go. All right. Whew. Yeah, it's being weird today. All right, so Matthias coming in with the first question. We have been facing severe gateway connection problems during the Azure situation this week, almost for 2 days. Anyone else? I did not find anything related on the kind of community website. So Patrick and I were actually talking about this morning. So I believe there were some issues. The best thing I can say is if you are encountering those problems, open up a support case. So I did hear of a few. I think, Patrick, you heard of at least one where people were talking about gateway-related issues. So I think there is something going on. So definitely open up a support case. That's also what helps elevate things if you go to support.powerbi.com. And just real quick, so I say those things. I'm just going to go to support.powerbi.com right now, and it doesn't have anything listed there, so not sure why. But
Benny said it was DNS. Benny said it was DNS.
There we go. Well, so Benny may be saying that because the answer is always it was DNS. So I don't know if that's like an actual.
Benny's a pretty reliable source.
I know, but I think he may have been trying to make a joke there. See, Matthew coming into it's always DNS. So you know what? It's not. It's not Kerberos because it's like Kerberos. It just works. Yeah, except this wasn't it because it wasn't working, so it must not have been Kerberos. So yeah, Benny said it actually was DNS. There you go.
I told you. You can depend on Benny. You can depend on him.
I know, but I know there's usually a joke there.
Where airport. Benny and I sat in the airport waiting on you for like 18 hours. And so Benny's pretty dependable. I'm just saying.
That wasn't my fault, man. They lost our bags.
And he was the patient one. I was like, what?
I mean, the flight was delayed.
What's going on?
Yeah, the flight was delayed, and then they couldn't find our bags.
What the French toast.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But replace French toast with a very explicit word. So, yeah.
All right, moving on. Benny is a champ, though. He's magical and reliable. So, all right, Evan. I'm trying to use a visual level filter on a matrix with hierarchies based on a measure but I only want the filter to apply to the top level of the hierarchy instead of the children. How do I do that? Ooh. That's a lot. I can unpack that.
I mean, I guess I don't understand the part about on matrix with hierarchies based on a measure. A hierarchy based on a measure.
Well, he's using a visual level filter, so I'm guessing that's going to be the measure.
Yeah.
And that measure is going to be pulling from the hierarchy. Yeah, I was thinking is in scope is like the, but
you have to do something.
But how do you avoid? Like, how do you say ignore the children?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing that's catching me is it's the whole.
Evan's not here.
I don't know. What?
I don't know.
Oh,
See, that's what I'm saying, Chris. What does hierarchy base? You can build a hierarchy based on a measure, or is the? Or
no, I think the measure is looking at the
hierarchy.
hierarchy. Yes, that's what I think it is. So, like, if we have a hierarchy slicer, maybe.
And so, when I build a hierarchy, if the hierarchy is based on multiple columns, I could check the scope and see if I'm in that column, or if it's filtered by that column.
Yeah.
And then only apply the filter there, and then skip and not do it on the other. It would have to. It's got to be DAX, right? It's going to have to be DAX.
But like, how do you know if like you'd have to traverse it to know that you're at the top level, and that seems expensive potentially.
Well, the top level would be but the top level would be a specific column in the model,
right?
So if I'm in the scope
like
of
a flat,
that,
you'd have
it's filtered on that.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, how do you ignore the children at that point?
Yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one. I don't know.
We gotta take that off. We gotta that would be a. I don't know that we're gonna give you a straight answer on this right now. Children could change over time.
Oh,
well,
oh wow.
Oh, I mean, sure.
So
like if you update your dimension or whatnot. But
Evan, you have just broke both of. Broke Adam and Patrick.
Yeah, I just the children thing is what's throwing me. You need a way to catch that. We'd have to take that offline and play around with that. I don't know that we can give you a 30-second answer on that one. That's a tough one. All right. Yeah.
Patrick needs to do a video about that.
There you go.
Nobody's gonna watch it. Nobody's gonna watch it.
They may, because that's like it's in a report itself, so they may watch that. I would, put it on your whiteboard, man. That sounds interesting.
I'm gonna write it down too, because I'm not tethered to the.
I like that, Thomas. So Evan, like, what's the goal that you're trying to accomplish with that? Like, maybe there's a different way to go about it. So that would be interesting to know. Okay. All right. Moving on. ES. When to use? This is a Patrick question. Although we've talked about this before, I think this has come up on previous streams. When to use a junk dimension and when to use attributes on the fact table.
So
it depends.
Never, ever, ever use.
Yeah, no, it's not even it depends. Don't do it.
No. Never ever use attributes on your fact table, right? And I break that rule all the time. Just don't use attributes on your fact table.
He's like, no, it's not. It depends.
But let's define a junk dimension first, though, right?
There you go.
A junk dimension. I looked it up because I want to give you the Kimball. I want to give you the Kimball definition of this. Right. It's the grouping of typically low cardinality flags and indicators. What is cardinality, Adam?
Cardinality is like the number of items that you have in that given area. Yeah. Number of unique items.
Small number, like So if it's a small number, like yes, no, or true, false, or this type and that type, a very low cardinality. And so if you find yourself with a low cardinality of those, a lot of times you can create like a Cartesian product of all those, and when you load your fact table, do a lookup to see which one of those it matches, and just put a key. Use your key. And so if you just have a couple of them, it's easy. A lot of times you have a lot of those yes, no columns and things like that. But Never put attributes on it. Use a junk dimension. I read an email blog post a while ago by Enterprise DNA, and they did a good job explaining it, and I cannot find that blog post. I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat before this is over. But Cartesian, not Caucasian, Cartesian product, Matthias. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the blog post by Enterprise DNA. It was great, and they explained how to do it and everything. I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, don't use attributes on your facts.
So also, so
look at Matthew's comment.
your data, it's so white. Wow. All right. All right.
I found it.
I do want to throw something up there, Patrick. You probably didn't see in the chat, but it's gonna put a smile on your face. Chris Jones is always looking out for you, and so look what he said in the chat. I put it on the.
Oh, I can't post it. I can't even post it.
You're not even paying attention to me.
I just want. Oh, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris.
You got a view. You got a view.
I got a view.
That's nice. All right. Yeah, Chris. I agree. All right.
Hey, I can't post the link. Why can't I post the link in the chat? I found it.
Oh my goodness.
I was searching for this.
You're a mod. You can post links.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Whew.
Patrick and technology, it's sometimes,
Yeah.
All right. Sushil.
Thanks, Pabita, for real. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sushil, am I the only one facing scaling issues with Datamarts? Do you see Datamart as a part of core future? Why are you laughing? Do you see Datamarts as part of a core future strategy, or will it stay on fringes? All right. Since you're laughing, Patrick, what are your thoughts?
I'm not. I work for Microsoft.
All right.
That's
So,
my thoughts. I work for Microsoft.
Did Datamarts go GA? Or are they still in preview?
No.
Yeah, they're still in preview.
No, they didn't go
All right.
GA.
All right, so it's still in preview. Paul, be nice. So it's a preview product, right? So we're, Microsoft's still getting usage data on those things. Things can change over time. It's an option. It's a feature that's available to you right now. So mileage will vary. So yeah, it's okay to respond strongly when someone asks for your thoughts. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So like Matthew's saying the same thing. So like it's preview right now. So we got to stay tuned for more info on what that is. So Patrick and I aren't going to speculate on that on this stream. So stay tuned. Keep your eye out on the post. If you are having scaling issues, those are always things that I look at and try to figure out, like, what's the bottleneck if you can determine that. And that may also result in maybe opening a support case. So it could be because of the design that you're doing. It could be based on the gateway. It could be based on what data you're pulling in. It could be all sorts of things. And then what's even using it downstream? Where is that bottleneck? So those are all things I would investigate. You may have already done that, and it may be worth a support case. So a lot of, and I'm also seeing a lot of opinions in the chat as well. So yeah, it's preview. So keep that in mind as you're using it. All right.
I love that answer, Adam. That was a great answer. That was a great answer.
You love that answer. As opposed to you just laughing and going, whew. Oh my gosh. Oh.
We're not going to say it depends this show. We're not saying it depends at all.
We're not? I already said it in the chat.
We're going to answer every question.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Here we go. Lance.
That doesn't count.
All right. Here we go. Lance. This is going to break you, Patrick. This is going to break you. What's your favorite BPA rule that you've seen in action?
It's easy. That's easy.
What is
Easy. Remove unused columns.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's easy.
I would say
People
that
ignore it too.
my favorite one is that a field doesn't have a description. You get a lot of those. Like that shows up all like
turn that off.
man, I go through each one. I go through each one. even when there's
No.
5,000
No.
of them.
Everybody's looking at the most complicated things, right? Whenever I look at the BPA and people see it at the bottom, they click it and they start looking at all the no. Let's go. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing: unused column. My challenge with that, and this is where you really need to know what you're using, and this is where it depends.
Yes.
I'm going to throw out it depends. Is that's only in the context of the model, so you have it's not taking into account what the report's using.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a video on this because if you combine that with other tools, no, Kevin, no, it's not. It depends. It's not. It depends, Kevin. It's not. If you combine that with there's other tools out in the web that shows you which columns are being used by visuals, you bring them together. They're like the wonder twins. Activate. They're like the wonder twins. Activate. Then I can get rid of all those unused columns and I can shrink the size of my model. Come on, man. That's the best. That's the best one.
Okay.
Okay, Marco. We'll talk, Marco. We'll talk in a month or so when I see you at Bits. Yeah.
All right. Look at this.
Okay,
We'll
put $1.
Yeah, Paul's saying put $1 in the jar.
Okay. All right, Kevin. $1,
That's
Kevin.
All right. All right. Forever Twerp. Thank you for the super chat.
How much?
Let me see. It was $10 on the super chat. So it depends. Counts racking up, and you guys need some jar money. Wait, we've got jar money. Show your jar money, Patrick. Okay, you're just making noise.
I'm
You're making.
I'm
Okay.
balling.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
balling.
I
I'm
know.
balling.
You're ready.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Forever Twerp. Very much appreciated. So yeah, I know that Matthew. Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a
What?
minute. Marco's not going to be at Sequel Bits.
No, Alberto is.
Oh.
Alberto will be there.
Yeah, Alberto will be there. We'll have pizza with Alberto.
Ugh, and Chatmaster C showing some shade towards me. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right.
It's the walking internet.
I wish she does roll her eyes occasionally when like I bring up. I have lots of useless information in my head about random things, and she's like, how do you even know that? Like, why do you know that? Like, it's, she's like, why can't you know the answer to this other thing that you need to know? Okay. All right, Austin.
So, Benny.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, what are you
No,
gonna say?
Go ahead. We'll come back. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Benny asked where I get all the dollars from. I said I have a vending machine. Yeah.
Ask him why he has the dollar. No, don't ask him that. Never mind. All right. Austin, what's the best way to learn about writing efficient DAX? I have some complex measures with multiple filters that are slow and see huge storage engine query numbers in DAX Studio, but don't know how to rewrite them. And I'm going to, Marco actually made a comment about this in the chat. Where'd it go? Why am I not
Don't they have a
seeing it?
course?
They do
Don't
have a
they
course, but he had a comment and it's not showing up in the thing, so I don't know. Oh, that's why. Hang on. What he said, I loved what he said, and oh my gosh.
So while you're looking, I'm going to say something.
Yep.
Austin.
Yeah, here we go.
If you find yourself writing really complex DAX, you should probably step back and take a look at your data model.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes it's unavoidable, right? You have some complex business rules and things you need to do, but if you have really complex DAX in every measure that you write, you need to take a look at your data model. Start in your data model, and fix that, and then your DAX will become less complicated. Maybe. Go ahead.
So Marco said short answer was filter columns, not tables. And the long story is learn DAX well, then learn how to optimize it. The opposite doesn't work. So.
Oh, that's good, Marco.
Although I would say, from a general standpoint, I agree with Marco. However, I will say that the way that Patrick and I learned it, and it may have taken us a lot longer than if you were to follow what Marco's saying, but the way that Patrick and I learned it was actually on the optimized side of it. like because we hit the problem and then we started like re-engineering and understanding like why is it doing that, and that's actually how we learned it. Took a while though.
We had an advantage. We had access to Phil and Marco and Alberto and Marius and Jeffrey and all these people. So it's a little different. Right? It's unfair advantage.
Yes. And when we got stuck, like we just ping them and like we get shortcutted very quickly. So yes, that's probably also why it worked for us. So yeah. So nice. Yeah, and there's a ton of resources. So definitely try and learn DAX. The fact that you have a real working project is helpful as well, so you can build things on that. Definitely take into account, the model piece of that to try and keep it simple, keep it clean. Those are always important and help reduce complexity in DAX. So, all right. Let's see if we can get.
But that comment that Marco made, we need to like copy that and put that in our sessions and. That's a great comment right there. Yeah,
I like this. That's why I wanted to pull it up. All right, let's go here. All right, this may be the last question. We'll see. All right,
we should do two more.
All right, we're gonna do two more. I'm trying to default date range to today, with the option of dynamically to be able to check date backwards. Start date should be defaulted to today with options of checking dates before. This comes up all the time. Like, how do you get a default? Like, how do you get it to default to today?
Call the Power BI team and tell them to allow us to put defaults on the slicer.
Ideas.powerbi.com. Because you can do relative date though, but it's based off of whatever date like that's coming from the field, or like you say last 7 days, or but I think the complexity you have in that question though complicates that. So there's not so and Sheila's saying add current date to your dim date, but that also depends on when you refreshed it, right? And so if you didn't refresh it since 3 days ago, then your current date is 3 days ago, not today. So yeah, and NLS is saying relative date with this day, but that becomes complicated. So so Chris says refresh is always daily. It could be. If it is, then that could potentially work. But the other thing to realize is that refresh date is actually going off of UTC. So now you got to consider time zone boundaries as well. So that becomes challenging. But yeah, default value for slicer would absolutely be the amazing thing. And that question comes up all the time. So that is a common ask.
Okay. So Kevin said you said it depends again.
It depends. So there was one aspect on it was actually to Sheila's thing about the default date. So
all right. Then that's fair enough.
All right.
That's fair enough.
All right. Set your date table range to today. I'm like, yeah, but it like that depends on the refresh and everything else. So okay, we'll get one more in here. Look at that. We're actually under. We'll get one more. Can we forecast using Power BI models? If so, please share some overview. So, it depends. You can do. There are certain capabilities on. Let me see if I can actually show it. Yeah. Here, let me go to my machine. Ooh, going to my machine. So, like a line chart on a given visual, you can go to this the analysis, further analysis on the visual. And sometimes you will be able to do it. It depends on the visual and how it's set up on whether or not you can set up certain forecasting elements for it, but it depends on the visual, the data, and all of those things. And I think there's a doc out there on how to do that. The other thing you could do is from a Power Query perspective, you can actually hook into like Azure machine learning. There's some forecasting things that you could take advantage there if you wanted to set that up. The thing you have to be careful on that is some of that requires premium in order to use. User said we need a video on forecasting. Yeah. So maybe. So I know there's content out there on doing it though. I know it's not a video Patrick would do, but I know there is content out there, but yeah, the forecast line on the line chart, if it's available in the analysis, so you may not see it there. So it's finicky. So it just depends on certain conditions. So there is docs on it though, I believe. Benny, that's a good point too. So there's a big, it depends on if they're, what their definition of forecasting is and what they expected. So yes. All right. Alex dropping a link on forecasting from Sandeep. Thank you, sir. So go check that out. Yeah. Yeah, so the Python visual, again, yeah, that's another way to do things, or the R visual. So those require, from refreshing, though, now you've got challenges where you have to use the personal gateway. So there's just a lot of nuances around all of it. So it's there are options, but you got to figure out what it is, what your goal is, and where you're going from that. So, all right. Chatmaster C said she is clearing the queue, so that means that we are going to enter into member-only chat. It is halfway in, and why is YouTube doing this? All right. So we're going to go into member-only chat. This means that only members and moderators can participate in the chat. Apologies that if we did not get to your question, we never get through all of them, so please submit it next time that we're on. We will try and get to it then. So members, go ahead and get your questions in. If you do want to learn more about being a member, definitely check out the join button down below. Or I'm going to drop the link into the chat again so you can learn more about it. No commitment required, but if you do want to take a look, greatly appreciated. If we didn't get to your question and you got a burning question, you can always do a super chat. That takes priority. So just remember, when you do the super chat, put the question in the text. So, all right, going over to member only chat. Let's make sure. All right, we are there. So members and moderators, you can participate in the chat. All right, Patrick, did you know that one of the benefits of being a member at the visitor producer tier is you could pre-submit a question? Did you know that?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know that.
So we do actually have a few pre-submitted questions. Some of them I'm holding over to next stream because I need some more info because I was not able to reproduce it. There is one question though that what happened?
Wait till you see Alex's question. Wait till you.
Good Lord.
That's all right.
Oh.
It'll come up.
Yeah, I saw it. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the pre-submitted question. What? You were pointing at me right as I did that.
Can I show the email? Can I show the email that
I would
they
say
sent?
no.
Is it okay?
I would say no.
Okay.
All right, so we have data that's not always single date driven. So fact table with a range. Our system currently outputs data in a end of month format. This makes running reports for monthly counts very easy. Questions I have: do we gain any efficiency by compressing all like fields and creating a date range? So compress short table. Or how would you write a measure based on a calendar table with an end of month date for head count or other measure reporting? And then how would you join a calendar table to the fact table that has ranges? Lots of stuff going on there. And so I think you played around with this a little bit, Patrick. And there was one overarching theme.
Yeah, but you said something when I said this, and it made me think about my whole solution. And so if you don't have access to make the changes I'm about to show,
yes,
right? If you don't have access to make the changes I'm about to show, using the range start and range end, and I did some research on it. There's some patterns and things you can use with that range start and range ends, but it can make things a little complicated in your DAX. If you don't expect extreme data volumes on this table, this long table that's tracking all the changes, it's easy, simple DAX. You're just doing counts at that point. Why not use that approach? You know, but if you can start schema it. I was about to curse. Start Scheme It, and it makes it easy. So let's head over to my laptop and let me show you what I did.
All right. Here we go. You're up.
Yep. And so I made a calendar table. This could be employee. I called it people, and I made a job table. Every time somebody changed their job, I wrote a row.
It's really
in
small,
the fact
by the
table.
way.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh wait. There's a zoom thing. There we go. There we go.
All right.
So let's zoom. What about now?
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
All right. And so I just wrote a row in the fact table every time somebody changed the job. And the requirements for the visual was that they had month on the rows and the job title on the columns. And now you can see in January we had one analyst, in February we had a director, in March we had an analyst and a VP. And I'll reply all and send this PBIX file. Yep, absolutely, Thomas. It's a factless fact table that I'm just doing a count on. But look at this. If I drop the person name onto this matrix, now I can see Adam, Marco, and Patrick.
You got to zoom in on that.
That Adam was a director, but he was doing a poor job, so we brought him down to an analyst in March.
True story.
Marco started as an analyst. He hadn't got a promotion yet, and I've always been a VP. They decided, at some point they need a VP, so they hired me as the VP.
And so just some inside knowledge. VP stands for Very Patrick.
I like it. So start scheme it if you can. But if you can't, that long table that you call, a very long table. I mean, if we're just talking about HR data, I just can't imagine, unless you work for a large, multinational company, I can't imagine that table would get that big. And so if it's easier to write the DAX and just do counts against it with those attributes in your fact table, which you shouldn't do. But if you do that, I mean, it's not bad. Not a bad idea. Simple DAX. I'm all about simple DAX.
So it depends.
Yes, it depends.
Keep it clean, keep it simple if you can. So also, if you don't have access to do this in the source, or there's just things preventing it with you, then do it in Power Query, right? And try and shape those things in a way that makes sense. So follow Matthew Roach's maxim of data transformation to get the most out of that, to perform it as far upstream as possible and as far downstream as necessary. But getting it in the star schema is going to make it just life easier in terms of calculating these things. Yes, Thomas. All right, cool. All right, going to the queue. Yes, Alex. I started that, I think, in December, when you went out on vacation, so I don't know that you've seen that. So, yeah.
He can't beat you. He can't beat you, Alex. He's never beat you, and he can't beat you. So
I have a screenshot.
Alex.
I have a screenshot.
No, nobody else
saw
it.
No.
Nobody
Alex,
else saw it. So.
Alex is referring to the bot. He can't compete with the bot.
But you can't beat him on your own, right? Without cheating. So
I use my resources, Patrick. I use my resources. It's the best advice I can give anyone is use your resources.
You're not lazy. You're just efficient.
Just efficient. So, all right. Forever Twerp coming in. The important question we are all wondering about: where did the green theming come from in the latest release, and why am I suddenly in Excel? So that's not the first time that's come up on the stream. We're talking about the accent color, Patrick. Talking about the accent color. Do you have the shoe? Can you show the shoe? Where's the shoe?
I put it away.
I know you got the blue one on the.
I switched the shoe out.
I know you got the Synapse shoe up on the shelf.
I don't know where the shoe is now.
It's lost.
I got so many. I don't know where it is. Yeah.
So there was a whole blog post on it. Hey, Alex, I don't know if you can drop the blog post that talked about the accent color. It was done for accessibility reasons, to help people be able to see the highlights as opposed to the yellow. So that was the official reasoning from the Power BI team. So, yes, Bob Beater, it's invaded Power BI Desktop on Report Server because Report Server dropped in January. So there's a new update, and that is now lined up and brought up to date with everything since whenever the last one was. I think September. So
I think Matthew got the right answer, though. Matthew's got the right answer.
So the Power BI team is now following Patrick's kicks from the cube.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yep. Well, so but what came first, the accent color in Power BI Desktop or the green shoe? We don't know. It's a chicken and egg problem.
Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I love Benny. Mo's a big fan of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie. Oh my gosh. I like that. All right. And thank you, Alex, for dropping the link. Cool. All right. Moving on. Tom's got a question. What's the easiest way to switch back and forth between test and prod servers on your data source? Parameter.
Yeah, I think Alex already
Data
said
source
it.
parameter. So it's the easiest way.
Because I think there's a video that I show how to do those dynamic connection strings.
So,
It's
if
old.
not, you should
It's
do one.
really old. I already did one. I know I already did one. If not, I'll do one. But I'm pretty sure I did
Yeah,
one.
Power Query parameters. That's how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and so David is also mentioning, deployment pipelines. If you're using that, if you have premium, but if you don't, the simplest thing you can do is just a Power Query parameter. You can update those through APIs, and so if you have some ETL operation, you can just call the API and switch it. So if you're doing deployments or things of that
There you
nature,
go. Alex.
so what?
Alex, see?
Oh,
Alex,
there you
I knew
go.
I did the video.
Patrick's got the video.
Yeah.
See, and that's a video people watched.
Erase it.
That was back in the day
Yeah.
when people watched your videos.
That's
So,
right.
It was back in the day. So, yeah. Easy. I like those questions. Those are good questions. All right, Toma. For models, for flag attributes, is it better to use a 0-1 or true-false for performance?
So I don't, to be honest, right? The cardinality is the same. The cardinality is the same. It's 2, right? But I don't know what the difference is under the covers.
So
Is
there's a
true
couple
false stored as 0-1.
Well, but there's a couple things here. So it depends. Well, so I don't know that the perf depends. I think from a perf perspective, I don't know that there's going to be any difference. But there's a couple things to consider here of, is it actually 0-1 or is it a bit field with true false listed there, or is it a string field with true false? Right? So there's 3 potential. So a bit field, if it's like true false and it's a binary field or bit field, it's really a 0 or 1 under the covers. So Alex is saying he tested the integer 1. So because if you have so again, it depends if it's a string representation of true false or the binary bit version of true false. Yeah, I don't know that performance is going to be a big deal. At the end of the day, test it with your data, right? Test the values and see what performs better.
But this goes back. Where are you storing that at? If that's on the fact table, make a junk dimension, relate it on the integer, and don't worry about it.
Oh, junk dimension.
Yes.
We just said don't use
Yeah.
junk dimensions.
No, use junk dimensions. I didn't say don't. You weren't paying attention.
I probably wasn't.
Use junk dimension. Yeah, you weren't paying attention.
So the other thing, though, is Patrick had a video fairly recently, I think within the last 6 months, of where they were talking about, he was talking about the slicer in Power BI Desktop versus the service, and when you refresh versus true false, right? So that can cause some things as well. So
I forgot about that video.
I know, I did not. Yeah, Chris. No, we said always use junk dimensions. Yes, don't put attributes on the fact.
But look what Benny's saying, and then look what Crystal's saying, because I think it's very important what they both
Oh my
saying.
gosh.
Yeah. I do like what Benny's saying, because somebody said it upstream. Somebody, it was Kevin saying, "Hey, you should use Y and N," because it doesn't make sense to 0-1. Doesn't make sense. So and then can you please bring up Crystal's? Can you bring up Chatmaster C's comment? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Right there, you go.
I
feel
always
your
pay
pain.
attention
I feel
to
your
Crystal.
pain.
I always pay
Solidarity.
attention to Chatmaster C.
Solidarity.
I never pay
Chatmaster
attention to
C.
Patrick,
feel
but
your
I
pain.
always pay attention to Chatmaster C. Oh my God.
I feel your pain.
Okay. All right. Did we answer the question? I feel like we answered
we
the
did.
question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Alex. Oh my gosh. Any advice for creating scorecards in the service, especially with connected metrics? We still haven't done that video. CEO wants a report with measures from multiple data sets, and I don't want to use direct query over AS preview feature. Wait, I thought that went GA. Maybe that didn't go GA.
I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about anything.
So have you used the actual metrics feature, like the scorecard stuff? Like that's where my mind went immediately to that when you started saying scorecards and metrics, and like you can link those to given reports that could be in different data sets even, and bind those. So I would definitely. Okay, thanks, Alex. I can never remember which one's gone GA or not at this point. I'm just going to assume everything's the shape map and none of it's gone GA. But have you Alex? Have you looked at the scorecard / metrics capability? No, not yet. That is where I would start looking at that first. And they've got some great samples inside of there. So let me just pull it up real quick.
Oh, it is still preview. It's still preview.
You're talking about direct query over AS.
Direct query.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you see this whole
I'm looking
metrics
at the doc.
item, so if you go to metrics, you can see different things here. So you can have individual metrics, you can have a whole scorecard, you can embed that in a report, either the whole scorecard or a metrics. The data can be driven from visuals in a report that are subsequently based on a measure of some kind or data. So those can all happen. The other thing, where is it? Why don't I see it? So if you go to new scorecard, no. So they have some great samples. It's just sometimes they show up, other times they don't for me, and so I don't know why.
Wait.
But if it's your first time going there, there are great samples.
Alex made a good point though, because I think they have. I really wasn't paying attention to your response, so if
I know. I know. It goes the other way too. Look at that. Shocking.
If they have multiple models, right? We don't want to bring them all together. So this is the one case where I would say use a dashboard, and somebody said that already. Pop said use a dashboard, a real Power BI dashboard.
Okay, because you said dashboard. Now I got to clarify that.
Real Power BI dashboard.
Okay.
A real Power BI dashboard.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. And then Ryad, thank you for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
I know. That's okay. So Toma's saying too, you can create those scorecards from multiple data sets. But Alex is too,
right.
Well, and that's why I'm saying like those can all be linking, like you can have different metrics that are linking to different data sets. And so why use the dashboard object in Power BI when I can use a
somebody should do a
scorecard?
video on this.
They should.
I think somebody should do it. They haven't, but
I know they haven't. So that's why I'm saying like you can link to different measures in different data sets and they all be on a single scorecard. It's beautiful. So
yeah,
it's amazing. So definitely go check out that. All right, that's my answer on that one.
Okay.
All
I'm still
right.
waiting for Alex Powers' question.
All right, well, let's go to Alex Powers' question. Patrick, any thoughts on possible SQL injection within my ETL? Define SQL injection first. Define SQL injection.
Well, I mean, let's say you want to maliciously alter the shape of a query, right? And so I select something from this, and I want to just put a little code in there and comment out the rest of the code. Let's say I want to do something like that. Just be careful. So Alex and I talked about this. I shared this with a couple of people on our team. I was filling out something, and someone was like, "Is Power BI protected from SQL injection?" Right? Just be careful. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say it is. You just need to be really careful on this and make sure you understand what you're doing when you give people access to your underlying servers.
Yes.
Move on.
Okay. Excellent. So my takeaway there is SQL injection equals bad.
Bad.
Very
bad. Yeah.
Got it. All right, Alan.
I said malicious.
You did. Multiple times, though.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Alan. Is there an optimal number of queries in a data flow to avoid the... There are more queries in this project than we recommend. I don't know what the actual trigger is for that. I do know there have been customers that they end up just doing like a 1-for-1, just to try, because so there's other things with that too. Is one, you do get that message, but the other thing is it can impact performance. So you need to look at that part of it too. And I think that's really that's part of the reason why that message is even there, is because it can introduce performance problems. And so you want to be careful
I've never seen
about
this message before.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know where that triggers. So Chris is saying 1. Yeah. What, Kevin? I like it. Oh my gosh, Kevin. 1 minus when you get the message. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and Alex is asking a good question too. Like, how many queries do you have in your data flow? Please don't say 20. Please don't say.
That's funny.
10. I don't know. Typically, where at least the customers I've worked with that are working with larger sets of data, the minute they start introducing multiple queries, it's started to cause problems, especially with all the transformations listed within those. So you just got to adjust based on what you're doing. And so if you're not seeing any performance problems and it's within your SLA, ignore the message. If it's working fine, then okay. So if you're encountering perf problems, or it's not behaving correctly, or you're encountering refresh issues, that's where you're going to want to start looking at it. So yeah. Yep. It's a recommendation, right? So just always remember that it's a recommendation. Mathematically expressed as m-1. Oh my gosh. And then Alex also dropped the link for Power Query Online usage limits. So it may be listed there, but so Power Query Online is Dataflow's leverages that. So yeah, Fernando, it's a warning, not an error.
My favorite response is from Chris. Reality. If you have that many queries, you should move to proper ETL 2.
It's a problem,
trying to be shady or anything.
No, but because look, some of the customers I've dealt with, these are business users, right? They don't have access to they're trying to do citizen dev stuff, and they don't have access to the data sources. And yes, you should. I agree in a proper thing that should do there, but it introduces boundaries for the business, which is the whole point of data flows, right? That's why data flows was introduced, to allow those business users to do these things and not load up multiple Power BI data sets with all this Power Query operation, right? So they can scale that. And so I get the problem and the use case for why you're doing that in data flows. And I've seen customers do it. So yeah. Yep. I'm not arguing.
Slow blinking of my eyes. Did you see the slow blinking?
No, what? Oh. I get why business users, it's a tool, right? So business users are going to use it to get the job done when the DBA or IT is slowing them down.
Hey, not everything is citizen level, Adam.
I know. Just saying.
Okay, let's move on.
Don't knock on the business user, man. I'm sticking up for him.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I kid.
And I've seen large enterprise customers doing that. So, all right, moving on. Prem Chand, Ray, also thank you for becoming a member. Very much appreciated.
It is
very much appreciated.
It's just you and I, Chris.
It is. It's absolutely that. Because Chris, you're the only one watching his videos, and you guys are just kind of in this. Oh my gosh. Prem Chander. My org has decided to discontinue SQL Server Analysis Services cubes and use Power BI datasets for Excel-based reports. What's your opinions on this? So
yeah, Do it.
Do it. I mean, if you made the business decision to, and I'm assuming when you say SSAS cubes, we're talking about on-prem multidimensional. Yes. And so if we've made the business decision to remove on-prem infrastructure and go to the cloud, I do like that we're thinking Power BI first and not necessarily Azure Analysis Services. So I do like that. I mean, it's when we talk about the Excel piece, though, just know that there could be some performance-related problems when doing Excel against the tabular models and or data sets specifically. And so those are things to be aware of. Chris Webb's done a lot of blog posts on that. So definitely go check out Chris Webb's blog. He talks a lot. So read up on those. Just know there are some either performance things and or just limitations on that front. So hopefully that'll get better in time. But for right now, that's so yeah. Yeah, Pop Eater, yeah, I agree. Often cubes now mean more tabular, yes. But even if it's tabular on-prem and you're moving to the cloud, the decision was made to move to the cloud, so that's cool.
So the comment from Toma, right? Is it AS? Yeah, it is AS, but you get more features in Power BI than if we were talking about tabular. If we're talking about tabular, multidimensional, whole different story. But if you're talking about, hey, I'm coming from tabular on-prem to, or AS tabular to Power BI data sets, you get way more features.
Hey, Alex, can you drop the blog that Christian Wade did on like the Azure AS versus Power BI Premium? So it talks about Power BI Premium being a superset of Azure Analysis Services. So you do get those more capabilities and whatnot. So, so yeah. So and that's why I said I like that you're going Power BI first. But just understand the limits and or perf considerations when doing that. And go read up on Chris Webb's blog. He's got a lot of stuff. So thank you, Alex. All right. Let's see here, Joe. What could happen if you use an unsupported feature in Tabular Editor? What happens when you use that unsupported feature? So this has to do with Power BI Desktop specifically. So it's not about anything else. It's only about Power BI Desktop. And so the thing about Power BI Desktop is that certain things haven't been, they're trying not to use the H word. So there are certain things in Power BI Desktop that are not as set in stone. I'll say that instead of the H word, as opposed to like Power BI Premium data sets, right? Stuff deployed to Power BI directly in the service. And so when you're using Tabular Editor against the service, everything's supported there, and so you can do that. When you're doing it against Power BI Desktop, those unsupported items, there's a risk that something could be reverted by Power BI Desktop that you are not aware of. And so that's the big thing you got to be aware of on that is be careful when doing those things that are labeled as unsupported in Power BI Desktop because it could be changed by Power BI Desktop without you knowing if you go and do something. So that's the big thing. That's softened. So that's really the thing. So if you're just doing Tabular Editor against XML endpoint and Power BI Premium, you're good to go. You're fine.
Like what Casper said.
Don't call support either. Well, that's why it's unsupported. So yes, don't call support because it's unsupported. That's kind of the definition of unsupported, right? But yes, absolutely, Casper. Casper's point is that, and I love that Casper's been lurking this whole time, and he just dropped that. Don't call support. And the reason Casper's saying it is because a lot of people call support, and then it's like, oh no, you're doing something unsupported. So no, that's not. Please, no. So yeah.
Good luck.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yep. By using an unsupported item intentionally, you lose the right to ask for support on that because you use at your own risk. So, but yeah, it's specifically against desktop for the dump to end the session. All right, there's one more question in the queue. Wait, there is one more question in the queue. I want to get it just so we can say we cleared the queue on the member side. All right, Patrick. Santosh has got one. Have you measured the SQL Server reporting services and Power BI Paginator report performance?
Yeah, we measured it. and it's the performance. There's a difference. There's a difference in performance, and everybody's aware, and they're working on it. So there is some differences, and there's some optimizations being taken place to get it as close to parity. Yes.
Yep. So I will also say it depends on what you're doing in those reports too.
Oh man.
Paul said it was 14 inches.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Why is my network like being wonky? So
Alex said, "Stop the stream." When they asked that question, stop the stream.
Stop the stream. Just drop it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. That brings us to the end. We cleared the member queue at least, so I feel proud about that. Patrick, any closing words of wisdom?
No.
No. All right.
No.
Well, that's good to know. All right, everyone.
A lot of words today.
You're all out of words. Okay, so that will do us for this week. Another stream in the books. We will be back next week. And so everyone, be safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a successful next week. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
All right. See you, everyone.
Try not to begin. As said, please don't come find me. Why don't you people try spending some of your time thinking of something else besides tearing others down? You can never win.